Hello and welcome back to the Scrap Yarn Hoodie series. In this video, we'll be covering how to do the ribbing for the cuffs and the hem of the garment. There are key moments listed below if you need to scroll forward to check something and you're at a certain place on the pattern. And if you're just finding this video and need a little bit of an introduction, that is linked below as well. So let's talk about ribbing. Ribbing in garment construction is used for its flexibility, the ability to close the fabric around your body without restricting your movement. We'll be using our crochet ribbing in the Scrap Yarn Hoodie for exactly the same purpose. Ribbing is done more often in the knit version like this versus the crochet version. When you are crocheting ribbing, more often it's for the look of the ribbing rather than the functionality, because it's harder to achieve that stretch that comes with a knit rib in its crochet counterpart. And today we will be doing the crochet version. A knitted rib is done building the ribbing in columns vertically. See, I wore this sweater for a reason. A crochet ribbing, you achieve the look of that vertical ribbing, but you're actually doing it horizontally back and forth. For the Scrap Yarn Hoodie, the stitch that we will be using for our ribbing is a slip stitch in the back loop only. The reason I chose this is the ribbing on the hoodie is actually quite functional. It allows the sleeve that has already been gathered in by those small little diamonds that we did in the previous video to reduce the size of your wrist opening and the bottom of the garment. But then what the ribbing does is it allows it to blouse over really nicely and give you some stretch. So like hold your sleeve if you want to push it up, etc. So it really brings it into the body and gives it that flexibility. I'm going to say that this is an optional part of the garment. Of course, everything is optional if you choose. But some people don't like extra ribbing. Feel free to just do a single crochet hem around or even a slip stitch hem around that last piece and then come back to this later if you just want to start wearing the garment and you want to add the ribbing later. That's totally okay. I get that. That's why we left this for last. So jumping into the tutorial piece of this, if you would like to crochet off of your sleeve hem as is, you're more than welcome to. But the way we have this written in the pattern is you're going to do the ribbing separately and then seam it on as your final step. We are going to keep the same hook size, which is just a 5mm. It says H for our ribbing. Starting with the ribbing for your cuffs, we are going to do a slip stitch, and then we want it about this wide. So we are going to do a chain of 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, so you're going to treat your first stitch here like it was your chain to turn. So we're going to skip that and then go in the next stitch. And this is going to be a back loop only, so it's really going to give you that knitted effect. So we're going to take this guy here. The back loop is always the loop furthest away from you. So if I'm laying this flat, it's closer to you than to me. So it's going to be this one here. And we are going to do a slip stitch. So we're going to slip all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Great. Chain 1 to turn. Next, we are going to keep that going. So if you're newer to doing this, you want to make sure you see where your top stitches are, because a slip stitch kind of forms sides as you go, especially in back loop only, which is how we end up with that knitted look. But it also can be really easy to lose track of your place. So make sure you see, okay, here are all of the tops of my stitches are just running this way. So I'm just going to remember that as I start going back through. Make sure you get that 15 in there. Otherwise, your project is going to reduce in size. Chain 1 to turn. How I'm holding the yarn is a little bit looser than I usually do. And the reason why is because you're doing all of these really tiny little stitches. And if you hold your yarn too tight at this point, you can make it very hard on yourself getting through that back loop only. So why do we need it to be a slip stitch when it takes forever? Well, this is going to kind of be based on your yarn, but since we are stranding yarn, we're combining yarn in the Scrap Yarn Hoodie, it makes it more likely that you're going to actually have some challenges from stretch standpoint when it comes to your yarn, since it is stranded, a little bit more structural integrity to it. That makes it so your yarn probably has a very little stretch. You do all of these. The nature of the slip stitch being one side versus the other almost puts 2 stitches worth of yarn in the same space, which is a lot closer to just like a basic knit rib. Okay, so we've gotten a little bit of this going. You can see the stretch is starting to come in there, and I'm actually going to switch over to this one, kind of like, in the cooking shows where they have like a pre-made or like halfway made option. And I'm going to see if I can quickly finish this. We are using the slip stitch because it is the same on both sides. Doesn't really matter which side is up, just like your diamonds, as you are taking a look at how you're going to sew them together. Each side will look identical. I would recommend that it sits on your wrist with just a teeny bit of stretch to it. So if you want to specifically measure and get to your comfy wrist point, that's pretty easy to do. So if instead of the pattern measurement for how long to make this, I would just take a tape measure around your wrist. You can also, if you only have a ruler, just use a string and then layer it on the ruler to see how long. But I'm just going to run around my wrist here and I'm saying, okay, it's about 16 centimeters. So I want this to be 16 centimeters, and just lay it out and be like, okay, I have done this to whatever that measurement is. I am at about 11. So I have a little ways to go. So let's keep going. We now have a completed piece of ribbing through the magic of speeding up time a little bit. If I lay it out and do that measurement, we're at about 17 inches, which is perfect. So now we're going to seam the 2 sides together. It doesn't really matter which side is up, since they should be even on either side. If all of our stitches are done correctly, we should actually have a fairly even 1-for-1 seam all the way up. So we're just going to do a slip stitch through the top loop on either side, so kind of half of the stitch. And this is where I really like using stitch markers to just kind of line up your ends so you know where your last pieces are, so you can hold things pretty evenly. And then we are going to hop in and start seaming. I'm just gonna, since I'm already in that first stitch, just pull through here is an easy way to start, and then start going where I'm only grabbing half the stitch and then pulling through. And then I'm just going to keep doing that all the way down. If you're like me and having a little bit of trouble just with how stranded your yarn is as you're slipping through here, feel free to grab a slightly smaller hook to just get in there a little bit easier. it's not going to affect anything since we're just seaming it up. Or if you are more comfortable using tapestry needle, you could do that too. There really isn't much of a purpose to the way we're doing it, except for you won't see the seam on the other side. And then also it's a very similar technique to how we seam all the diamonds together. Okay, and once we get to the end, you can take off your little stitch marker because you'll need that extra little space to do your stitching. And it looks like I'm not perfectly lined up here, which is okay. And then we will pull our tail through, and you will see we have our nice little slip stitch seam there. But this is actually on the inside of the cuff, because what we're going to do is we're going to turn it to the other side, and then look, you can no longer see that seam. Great time to try it on. Make sure it fits nice and comfortably, isn't too tight, and that's perfect. So that is how you do the ribbing for the cuff, and I will show you how to seam this in the last video. For the cuff for the body, the distance, how big it should be, is in the pattern notes, but otherwise it's done exactly the same way. You're just doing this for a lot longer. But now it's time to talk about how we're going to start joining the body together and how the ribbing comes into play as we attach that to the body.